to the Wild Protea with myself, Clinton Drum, and thank you for joining me once again here. Before I get into things, would like you guys to just hit that like button. Also subscribe here on our YouTube channel, The Fair Digest, as well as our online magazine, thefairdigest.com. So just straight into things. So as I said last week, we're going to dive a bit into South African cricket and the state of things thus far, which, to be honest, it's not looking that great. You just take the recent Zanzi Super League action, and the crowds that are coming into the Zanzi League are not where they should be, and it's a bit worrying for South African cricket. However, the Newlands Test match against England did sell out within the first 3 days. Sold out. So yeah, maybe things will get better when the boys get back underway. So straight into things then. First topic on the agenda: Director of Cricket for South Africa. Now this has been pushed back to after the England series, and Enoch Nkwe will still be the interim coach or team manager as they say. So things haven't changed much from the Indian tour. One thing that has changed is there's now a new selection panel or technical team so they've called it that are now running the show with regards to selection, and they will be choosing the squad. When Tami and Temu was questioned about this technical team, he refused to answer, and I'm a bit perplexed as to why he would do that. I think us as fans deserve an answer, because we are the ones who pay the money for the shirts and for the tickets to go to the ground. We want to know who these guys are that are selecting the team and why they're being selected. So I'm a bit disappointed that he's saying that sort of stuff, but it is what it is at this point, and I think we have to get on with it. I'm disappointed that we haven't elected a director of cricket with such an important series coming up. The Test Championship, we're already behind after getting thrashed by India. Things are not looking great so far in South African cricket, and it doesn't show any signs of getting any better, guys. As fans, we're going to have to just fuss bait a bit. Because I think we're going to go through a period where it's probably going to get a little bit worse before it gets better, but hopefully, after the England series, we can figure out where we're going and get our bearings. Then just looking a bit here at our next topic. Yeah, so CSA have said they're looking for someone with experience on and off the field. So we would suggest that the director of cricket would be a former player, and someone who's done a bit of the off-field stuff as well. So you're looking at guys, even though Graham Smith hasn't really done the internal off-field stuff, he has been a pundit, and the things that he says about South African cricket are very relevant. Although he has pulled out of the equation, but you're also looking at guys like possibly Graham Smith. I'm not Graham Smith, sorry, Sean Pollock. Jacques Callis maybe, guys that have been there recently, guys that know the structure of South African cricket and will restructure it accordingly. I think that these are sort of guys that had the best interests at heart. Maybe even Mackay Ntini. I think he's been a big advocate for a restructure of the provincial setup. He's not really a fan of the franchise setup. He wants he's saying that if the franchise system existed when he was around, then he wouldn't have probably been picked for South Africa because he wouldn't have been found. So the Mackay Ntini is another name that can be thrown there into the ring. Although, like I say, he hasn't also done the behind the scenes stuff, but just the way he talks on talk shows and stuff like that, and as a pundit, you can see he's got a really good cricketing brain, and that he wants the best for South African cricket. So I think they'll go along the lines of a former player and someone who has either done behind the scenes work in CSA or some form of punditry or something like that. yeah, we'll have to just wait and see who does that job. And then the coaching role going forward, looking at it, the two guys that I would like to see in the job, probably Mark Boucher or Ashwell Prince. I think these two, have come on leaps and bounds. Mark has done exceptionally well with the Titans, and Ashwell Prince has rebuilt a Cobras team. They lost a lot of key players over the last sort of 5 years, and he's really blooded in the youngsters very, very well there. Dane Pitt got another South African call-up under his tenure. You look at guys like Kyle Verreyn scoring loads of runs in the 4 days stuff. And Zubair Hamza also coming through his tutelage. So things look good, for him. That's the guy I would probably go with. I think Mark needs to do a bit more work before he's considered, and I think Ashwell Prince is the right man for a rebuild because he's just done it now himself with the Cobras. A few years ago, the Cobras had a few aging players in sort of their mid to late 30s, and they've all gone now, and they're in a massive rebuilding phase. But in that rebuilding phase, they're still able to compete, in all three formats of the game, which I think is a credit to Ashwell and his coaching staff and his approach to the game. He's blooded the youngsters, but he's given them opportunities to bat or bowl, at crucial times, and I think that's really important. He's not shied away from, making them bat where they're supposed to bat, I think, and, guys are putting in the hard work and he's rewarding them. So, that would be my pick for team management. And then just a little bit of Western Province cricket and CSA news. So if you don't know, CSA put Western Province Cricket Association under administration. They felt there was something amiss over the finances of a development, 750,000 rand development going on at Newlands. If you've seen them, Zanzi Super League, you've seen the developments that are going on currently at Newlands, and that was put into question. But it turns out that the Western Province Cricket Association have now won that case against CSA. The various parties concerned, CSA said, they won't be taking the matter further. They're happy with the outcome, and the Western Province newly elected chairman, I forget his name now, I should have probably written it down. But anyway, he said that there'll be no hard feelings, there'll be no hard feelings going forward, and he hopes that they can work well together with CSA. You don't want fractions within the cricketing fraternity as a whole, so I think that's a good thing that they've sorted this matter out, and that the unions can work in unison to provide a more stable setup for the players. And then just moving forward here, guys, we're gonna have a quick look at the team that I would play going forward here. So obviously, England are coming through to the South African shores. England just getting smashed by an innings by New Zealand. There's no shame in that. New Zealand are a really good test outfit. So they might be reeling a bit, and maybe we can take a bit of an advantage of that. There's a couple changes that I would make to this current side. Obviously, Captain Faf, opening the batting, Aidan Markham, if fit. I'd have Zubair Hamza at 3 there, and then obviously Faf, I'd fill him at 4. In my side, probably Bavuma misses out. I would take Bavuma out, and I would put in Rassie van der Dussen. So at 5, I would have Connie. At 6, Rassie. And then at 7, here's an interesting thought. I would either have Kyle Verreyn or Sinetemba Kashile, because I just think that Quinton is more valuable as a batsman than a batsman and a keeper. And I think the batting and keeping would put a strain on anyone, and it doesn't seem to be putting a strain on him at the moment. But I think I just prefer that, that top 7. It just looks a lot stronger. So you go Dean, you go Aldo, Markham, if fit. You remember he punched a wall or something when he got out. And then you got Zubair, who looked good in India. Faf obviously at 4, Kuni at 5, Rassi at 6, Kyle at 7. Then you go Vernon Philander, Keshev, or Keshev you could possibly put in Linda as well. That gives you another extra batsman. So you've sort of got 2 all-rounders in that side. Then you've got Kagiso Rabada. And for me, Anurag Nokia, I think he's got a bit more pace than Ngidi, although you could swap him and Ngidi around. I don't think you lose much with either player. And then obviously, at the 7th position, Kyle or Sinetemba, both young up and coming players. Kyle has scored a lot of runs recently. Not that I think that his amount of runs deserves a call up. I just think that having Kuni up the order is more important. And I think that Heinrich Klaasen, I just don't think he's the future, the future of South African cricket. I would rather blood a youngster now, at 21, 22 years old, and have them have a good run at trying to make a claim for that spot, than have Heinrich Klaasen, who's kind of been in and out. He made his test debut in India, tough place to make your debut, but I just don't see him as the answer. I just don't see him as the answer there. Keeping, I would, like Sinetemba or Kyle, but that's my opinion, and you guys are entitled to your opinions as well. And then for me, Linda and Maharaj, I would go for Linda. Georgie's he did well in India, and I think Keshev, it's a difficult one because Keshev has kind of done well in that holding role for South Africa in test matches, but I feel that Georgie can fulfill that role. He does it quite well for the Cobras and for his current franchise now, the Blitz, and I think George Linda has more to offer with the bat than Keshev, and I think that's going to be important. That our top order isn't really firing at the minute, so the last thing you want to do is kind of you pick the 4 bowlers or 5 bowlers, and then you've got guys that can just bowl. Whereas what I've done is it's a bit of a compromise having Vern and George Linda, but I think that's going to be better going forward. I mean, if you look at England's last Test match, it was Mitchell Santner that came in and made 100. Now Mitchell Santner is an exceptional player, but looking at Georgie Linda, he's got 100 now recently in a 4-day game, and I think he's quite capable of doing the same at the top level. He didn't look ruffled against India when he was batting, and I think he'll be more comfortable here at home on our wickets as well. So it just provides a bit of options. Other than these guys here, I don't really see anyone else, any major changes. The one major change that I made was Temba out, which maybe is a bit of a harsh one, but I think Temba's had a poor run of it, and I think just dropping him out of the side will make him hungry again to score runs and really cement his place in the Test lineup. I think he is really good enough to play for South Africa at Test level, but I just think at the moment he needs a rest from South Africa, from the Test match arena, just to reset and come back stronger. I think Rassi has earned his place. I think I really believe in Rassi van der Dussen. A couple of years back, I didn't think, or when he got picked 18 months ago, I didn't think that he was as good as he is, but he's put the work in at domestic level, and he's looked a really accomplished player wherever he's played for South Africa. So I think at Test level, I think he'll fit in like a glove. I really do. That's what I would go for, guys. Looking at the relative strengths of the teams, I think England also play this kind of all-rounder game. You look at Broad who can bat, you look at Wokes who can bat. Adil Rashid can bat if he plays. What's that off spinner's name? Moeen Ali, he can bat as well. So they kind of bat all the way down, and I think that's important now. You know, in the more modern form of the game, I think obviously this test will these test series will be probably won more by the bowling outfits than the batting outfits. You know, South African wickets are generally tough to score runs on. So that's why I've gone for more of a batting lineup than a bowling lineup. I think Vern in South Africa is amazing. Kagiso, his record speaks for itself. Nokia is a bit of a maybe guy for me. I don't know if I go for him or Lungi. I think I'll probably go for Lungi and Gidi, in all honesty. And then you've got either Keshev or Linde. Now, I have said that I would go with Georgie Linde, just because of the batting aspect for him. And, you know, with looking at that lineup, we then bat down to 9. And then if you count Kagiso, you can hit a long ball sometimes, maybe 10. So I think, like I said, the battle will be with the ball, but I think it's going to be important to get big runs on the board as well. You know, it's shown now that when England face a large target, they don't have the patience to be able to get to those larger targets. I mean, you look at the way New Zealand did it; they were extremely patient. BJ Watling with a double 100. Mitchell Santner chipping in there with his 100, and then, you know, the English side just didn't have the patience to bat out to bat for long periods of time, and I think that's going to be difficult in South Africa as well, to bat for long periods of time. But obviously it depends on conditions and stuff like that. You know, if the wicket's more lively, then perhaps you don't go with a spinner, you go with Nokia and Lungi and Giri. Or perhaps you drop one of the in my team, you drop one of the youngsters, Carl or Sinetemba, and then you go with that extra bowling option. Then Quinny obviously has to keep. So yeah, that's just my thoughts on the team and the upcoming series, guys. Thank you once again for joining me. Obviously, we'll be keenly awaiting this test series. So don't forget to like this video, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, both here on the YouTube channel and on the website, the fairdigest.com. Like I said, I do write weekly articles. I just forget off the top of my head, my article this week was about anyway, go check it out, guys. I write weekly articles on the Fair Digest. Go subscribe there. Also, guys, don't forget to comment below. I'd love to get your comments in and see what you guys think of what I'm doing, and if it's relevant to the fans. Because at the end of the day, I want to try and create a fan channel, and I want to hear you guys, and I want to get the heartbeat of the fans and see what you guys are up to and thinking about the team, and see if you guys think that CSA are going in the right direction with Enoch, or if you guys would like to see someone else in the role. So yeah, guys, get commenting. I'd love to hear from you guys. Have a fantastic weekend. Be safe on Black Friday, guys, and enjoy it. Cheers.